Hey folks, this is Ben Gessel. How's it going? This is the number four the fourth video in this kind of arena with some of my favorite composers. There's certainly not all of them, but some of them. And I'm going to cover a lot of guys here: soft rock, rock, funk, Latin, and folk. I'll try to get through all these guys in this video. So more guitar type oriented stuff here, but nothing too wild and crazy. Here we go. And some of these guys are songwriters, some of these guys are groups, and there's a bunch of songwriters I still have to learn more about because a lot of these pop songwriters, some of them keep a low profile. So, anyway, kind of like the Easy Listening group and that sort of thing, somewhat. Here we go. Hall & Oates. Now, I don't know too much about this group, but I think this is very much an iconic 80s group. And yeah, they had some good songs. Billy Joel goes without saying, big name, love Billy Joel. But I think my dad likes him even more. Michael McDonald, kind of associated with Christopher Cross, down here a little bit, and some other guys, but big name in the soft rock arena. Carole King, I'm not crazy about all of her music, but some of it's great, but it's all great anyway. But Carole King is a really cool lady. Atlantic Starr, yep, great group there. Hamilton, Joe, Frank, and Reynolds. Boy, that's a big long name. And the funny thing is that the lead singer sounds a little bit like, it's Hamilton, Joe, Frank, and Reynolds. Lead singer sounds a little bit like Elvis Presley a little bit, but it's like a bit more 70s version of that kind of thing. What DeBarge, Debarge. And I think a lot of folks more from the 70s and 80s would be more familiar with these guys, but DeBarge. And of course, there's a movie that came out about one of the guys that was in this group. And I hear the music. I'm not always really familiar with the guys in this band, but this family group. But of course, Who's Holding Donna Now is their big hit, I think. Anyway, Todd Rundgren, also I'm a big fan of him. Gino Vanelli. Carpenters, of course. Yep, I know Carpenters. Yep. Richard and Karen Carpenter. Yep. Air Supply. Yep. Graham Russell and Russell Hitchcock. I think is the other guy. Russell Hitchcock does the high stuff, and so they're really good too. I like those guys. England and Coley, right? Dan England, John Ford Coley. A little bit of a slight mix of soft rock and country with these guys. Paul Davis, of course. Christopher Cross, I love his music. The Jets, they're also members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints over in Minnesota. They're based around there, part German, part Polynesian, I think, something like that. I love these guys. These are really great guys, the Jets. Joe Raposo, he's more a songwriter, associated more with Sesame Street and Jim Henson, but that easy listening kind of crossover. But yeah, Portuguese American guy, awesome. I love Joe. Barry Dvorak, also associated with the Carpenters. Same thing with Paul Williams. Paul Williams is a huge name in songs among songwriters, considered probably one of the best of all time. Parker McGee, we know his music mainly from England and Coley's songs. He's the songwriter behind a lot of that stuff. And of course, Gloria Estefan from Cuba. And again, there's many I know I'm not putting down. I know there's a lot of the Doobie Brothers, and I know there's a whole bunch of guys that I can also put down here as well that I listen to. Ambrosia a little bit, all these guys, Eagles even. But you have to kind of stop it at some point. And I know, of course, there's also Eric Carmen, or also the group Wham. He's a little bit odd, but whatever. He's a really cool guy. Okay, going into more just kind of 80s up-tempo or rock or whatever. And, I realize a few of these guys are a little bit controversial. We don't have to get into that right now, but Phil Collins, I like his stuff. David Foster, an amazing songwriter. Absolutely amazing. And he did a lot of stuff for both Earth, Wind, and Fire and Chicago, amongst others. But he and Maurice White are good friends, and I just recommend Maurice White from Earth, Wind, and Fire. I recommend you guys check out David Foster and Maurice White. some of the stuff. Anyway, Neil Diamond, of course, my dad loved his music a lot, and I do as well. But I mainly listened to Neil Diamond a lot from my parents. Huey Lewis and the News, really awesome guy, Huey Lewis, from Wales, I think, originally, or Welsh ancestry, something like that. Chicago, everybody knows about Chicago. That's a bit older, especially from the 70s and 80s. And of course, Peter Cetera and Karate Kid and all that stuff. Michael Jackson, his name is huge, I know. And I don't want to talk about a whole bunch of stuff regarding Michael Jackson. I'm just going to say he's still one of the big names, but we're going to see, I don't know, down the road what's going on there. Anyway, I'll just let that one sit. He's still a great musician. All right. Toto. Yep, also in there too. Okay, and also a little bit of a shout out to the Bee Gees, just the main disco group I like. My grandpa, by the way, my mom and dad love ABBA. I think ABBA is great. I'm just not as huge a fan of ABBA as my grandpa. So, going on to funk. I mentioned Maurice White and Virgin White and all these other guys. Philip Bailey, Earth, Wind, and Fire, the legendary Earth, Wind, and Fire. I love these guys. I mean, you know, I'm not old enough to really. I'm not from Chicago. Yeah, I know. But gosh, like I would have loved if I did live in Chicago in earlier times. Just this music speaks to everyone. Earth, Wind, and Fire are just amazing. I just love these guys. Herbie Hancock, of course. I love the Tramps are also really good. Felton Pilot, I think he's composer for Confunction. I love Felton Pilot. Kool and the Gang, of course. Heatwave, I mentioned Confunction as well. Stevie Wonder, of course, and Casey and the Sunshine Band. These are some of my favorites. There's definitely other funk groups I like a lot too. Going over to Latin music, Antonio Carlos Jobim, or also known as Tom Jobim, Jobim, and I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce this. I'm sorry, folks. Joao, Gilberto. I probably pronounced. I'm just going to go on. I'm sorry. I'm not Portuguese, but he's another great composer. I'm sorry, folks. I butchered his name. Sergio Mendes, of course. So a lot of these guys are more Brazilian-ish, but great composers. Some folk music again. And some of these guys, I know they're not as strong of composers and musicians as some of these other guys. Right? There's some of these guys I mentioned, they're just giants. Right? America, though, they're pretty good. They're okay. They're not bad. I know they're not the best group, they're not the best guys in the world, but I like their stuff. For what they do, they're not bad. Dan Fogelberg, I know, is a little bit better composer. Jim Croce and the Fleet Foxes. The Fleet Foxes are a more recent folk group that I think are pretty good. And, all right, that's about it for this group here. I'm going to have one more video here. Wrap this all up. But that's some of the guys that maybe are more, you might hear them on the radio more often. I don't know, depending on which stations you listen to. So you're going to hear a lot of these guys. You're not going to hear these guys unless you're on YouTube so much. And then these guys you're only going to hear if you're watching movies or really into film music. And then these guys if you're taking a lot of music lessons, classical music. I'm going to finish up with this guy here. So here in just a sec. So, all right. I'll leave the thoughts and comments below. Catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.